Good afternoon, grinders. This is your MLB SimLabs analysis for Tuesday, July 22nd. Hit that thumbs up button on your way in the door. Always appreciate it. Hit the subscribe button if you're new here. Hit the notification bell to always know when we go live. We got Grinders Live later today, 5 p.m. Eastern, followed by Crunch Time with Kevin Roth. Taking a look at the weather report today. We're going to have to take a look all about this White Sox Tampa Bay game, probably. Although Roth does have the Colorado game, the Coors game, which has the highest total on the slate, as yellow-orange. But typically they get games in Colorado. So I don't think he expects much issues there, but tune into Crunch Time. Here's all the updated radar, and in addition to all the picks and the plays and the stacks and everything, the regular analysis from our experts here. Roth will always show the updated weather report because, Atlanta looks fine. Chicago looks fine. But this White Sox Rays game doesn't look all that hot, although it won't be that popular of a game on both sides. I guess maybe Tampa Bay bats. You're probably not going to play Drew Rasmussen at 8,400 today, but that's really the only issue. The top pitchers, but we got a lot of good pitching. We got some team totals that are really high, and we got some team totals that are really low, really low. Highest team totals on the slate, obviously the Coors game. We got the Cardinals 6.37. Colorado is over 5. The Dodgers about 5. Tampa Bay close to 5. Toronto 4.66. The Mets 5.07. The Giants and the Braves 4.75. But we also have really low totals, really low implied totals, like the White Sox 3.15. We got the Royals 3.43. The Athletics 2.98. We got Milwaukee 3.13, Minnesota 3.15, Seattle 3.37. So that means there's a bunch of pitchers you could play on today's slate. And we also have value bats to use because I think there are two teams that are quite significantly underpriced today. So our highest projected pitcher on the slate as of right now is Jacob deGrom, 9,800. And there's like 3 pitchers that are right in that group. Right in that group. They're about a point separating all 3. You got deGrom at 9,800 against the Athletics. You got Yamamoto 9,600 against the Twins. You got Gilbert 9,200 against Milwaukee. Both, deGrom has 21.51 median fantasy points as a projection. The other two, 20.5 and 20 respectively. And then it kind of drops from there. And then you get like Mizorowski at 10.3K against Seattle. Obviously, with maybe a shorter leash, right? A lot of strikeout upside, but we have his median pitches at 87 today. And then it drops even further from there. And then you get like Matthew Boyd at 8,900, Framber Valdez at 10.1K. These are guys that are maybe a little bit overpriced in comparison to these 9K pitchers. And then cheap-wise, maybe Frankie Montas. He's not that cheap at 7,800 against the Angels. From an optimal perspective, the Yamamoto, Gilbert, and deGrom are 3 pitchers that have a 23 to 27% chance of being optimal. Then we get Valdez. We see here on the screen optimal versus projected ownership that Framber Valdez, according to SimLabs, is the most under-owned pitcher. His projection is like 5 points lower than deGrom's, but his optimal rate is about the same as Jacob deGrom's. And we have deGrom as the almost over-owned pitcher today on the slate we have him at 42% owned, but his optimal chances are like 23%. We also have Max Scherzer as over-owned. We don't have him projected all that well. We have him projected at like 14.85. But at 20% ownership, he comes in at quite a bit over. And we have his optimal rate at like 7-8% or so. So maybe he's a pitcher to fade today. But we'll run it through SimLabs. Obviously there are lineups that you could play that have all these pitchers in it. It really depends on the bats that you play. And taking a look at bats, like take a look at the top stack tool here. We got a 10-game slate, right? So 20 teams. Top optimal stack, I mean, it's no question, it's the Cardinals. 6.37 implied total in Colorado. I mean, they're not cheap though. They're not like overpriced, I guess, but they're going into Colorado, right? We got a lot of guys. I mean, we got guys in the bottom of the order that you could play, right? We got like Ivan Herrera is 5,500, right? Wilson Contreras is 4,900. But we still got guys on the bottom of the order that you can play. Victor Scott, 3,600. Jordan Walker, 3,700. So, I mean, the stack is still affordable enough. But the two stacks that stand out here optimally is, Houston and San Francisco don't have that dramatically different of a optimal chance compared to the Cardinals, right? We have the Cardinals, the Astros, the Giants, and then it's a bit of a drop to these like yellow teams. The Dodgers, the Cubs, the Mets, the Yankees, and the Rockies. But Houston and San Francisco, like, you take a look at these starting lineups for Houston. Let's go Houston. I mean, they only have a 4.25 implied team total, but against Eduardo Rodriguez, especially with the very righty heavy lineup. I mean, Altuve is 4,300, but everyone else is like nothing, like 3K. Cam Smith, 3,700. Diaz, 3,300. Christian Walker, 3,200. Dubon, 30K. Chas McCormick is 2.3K. I mean, some bottom of the order guys are 2K. I mean, you can play any of these guys as one-offs. These are fine. And then we have San Francisco. We go up to them. In Atlanta, with the wind kind of, it's hot and humid, 88 degrees in Atlanta, with the wind kind of blowing out. The Giants are pretty cheap. I mean, Helio Ramos, and Rafael Devers, William Adames are in like the mid 4Ks. Everyone else is kind of cheap, right? Yastrzemski, 3,700. Chapman is 4K. Jung-Ho Lee is 3,800. So, I mean, the point that I'm making is that playing like two 9K pitchers, paying like 19K total for pitchers, 20K for pitchers is doable on today's slate. You could play a Gilbert DeGrom lineup. You could play Yamamoto Gilbert. You could play the Valdez Montes. You could pay for pitching. I don't think we have to go down to like Eric Fetty at 6,300. I'm not sure if that's necessary. Like Landon Roop at 7,300. I don't think that's necessary. I mean, I know Scherzer's 7,500. So I guess people are going to play. I guess people are going to play Scherzer. I don't think it's going to come up that much in SimLabs. I mean, that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to put in 150. Small field contest, medium results range. So I'll be playing 1 to 3 lineups tonight. I'm not going to lock anything in. I just want to see 150 what it shows up. Because I'm just like, Framber Valdez is 10.1K. It shows as under-owned. But like the projection difference between him and guys that are like 500 cheaper than him is like 4 to 5 points that I don't understand why his optimal rate is similar. It's similar. Do I want to give? I know the ownership is different, but I'm not sure if you have to get that different, where you're just going to give up like 4 or 5 points of projection just for that ownership, when you could play a bat that's like 2% owned on this slate. But we'll see. We'll see, because I just get the sense that we're just going to see a lot of Yamamoto, Gilbert, and DeGrom. And probably DeGrom coming in number 3 out of the bunch because he's the most overowned. That's what I'm guessing. But maybe we'll see a bunch of Valdez. But I for some reason, I just don't think so. I think we'll end up seeing more like Matthew Boyd and more. I think maybe we end up seeing more Max Scherzer, overowned Max Scherzer, than about the same as Valdez. But I know we'll take a look. I'm running at the same time as I'm recording the video. This is what I do about a half an hour before lock. This is on desktop. You can do this on your mobile phone. There's a SimLabs app. I log in. Typically, I'm out and about. Log into SimLabs. Listen to Crunch Time. Right? You're listening to Crunch Time, making sure that you're not playing stacks of games that may not play, may get delayed. I see what comes out. Okay, let's take a look at the exposures tab, and let's take a look at starting pitcher. No, actually getting a decent amount of Framber Valdez. Okay. Right, Gilbert, number one. And we're still getting plenty of DeGrom. According to SimLabs, DeGrom is the most over-owned pitcher. Yeah, we're still getting 30% of him. And Valdez is the most under-owned pitcher, and we're getting 27% of him, even at 10.1K. Not getting, and Max Scherzer, we're just getting like almost nothing of. Doesn't matter what the price is. But I mean, look, I mean, we're spending money on pitcher. I mean, even Mizurowski, 15% of him. And Valdez, I mean, well, Mizurowski has a 2-point higher projection than Valdez. Yet his optimal rate is like half of Valdez. I don't get it. I give in to our AI overlords. If you know, if that's what SimLabs says, then a lot of times you just got to trust SimLabs. But I guess the cheap pitcher Landon Roop. I guess if you're going to use a cheap pitcher, but you see a lot of these. I mean, here's Eric Fetty in the lineup right over here. But this first lineup is an Astros lineup. Astros stack Yamamoto Gilbert. Right? You play Cooper Hummel as part of the Astros stack at 1%. And you could play the 2-2 owned pitchers. You could play. This is what I mean by I'm not sure if you're going to need to play a cheap pitcher today. Because you could just play like, some $2,500 guy as part of a good stack and get enough ownership coverage. Let's take a look at the teams here. Right. Astros, 36%. Giants, 36%. Cardinals, 18%. Then we get the Cubs, Mets, and then it kind of goes down from there. But like I said before, the Astros and Giants are just priced in a way where you can play 2 9K pitchers and easily play a stack of the Astros, a stack of the Giants, and still have like good one-offs. I mean, look at the one. You're playing Ohtani and Betts in this lineup. Mark Vientos at 2,800 at third base. Astros 5-man stack. Like this is perfectly. I'd play this lineup. Perfectly good lineup. But if you want to start locking things in, you could always go to the settings and say, okay, make sure to have 5-man stacks. Maybe I want to take a look at what do these Valdez lineups look like? What do these DeGrom lineups look like? What does an Astro stack lineup look like? Right. So I'm going to go in. I'm going to just put in 20. So if I were to play Valdez, like I just want to see what these specific lineups like. Let's say I want to play Valdez Gilbert, right? Or Valdez Yamamoto. So I'm just going to put in Valdez Gilbert and see what shows up and see what do these lineups look like? What's the rest of the lineup look like? So I'm playing an under-owned Valdez. I'm assuming I'm just going to get kind of like chalky stacks. Why not play Astros, Giants, Cardinals? I mean, shouldn't be getting Rangers or anything. Right? You see, yeah, Giants, a lot of Giants, Cardinals, Rockies, a lot of Giants. So I just ran 20 lineups. Right? So here's this first lineup. Valdez Gilbert. Right? We have Valdez at like 6% owned. Bailey, Schmidt, Chapman, Ramos, Lee. Your one-offs are Walker, Dubon, and Ohtani. Perfectly fine lineup for a Valdez lineup, right? You're playing a 6% owned pitcher. You don't have to get nuts, right? Here's a Mason Wynn, Marcus Semien, Christian Walker one-offs with another giant stack, and this stack has Ramos, Lee, Yastrzemski, Devers, Bailey. Done. Here's another one with, Jazz McCormick, Yainer Diaz as one-offs, Brendan Donovan for the Cardinals. And here you go. You got Dominic Smith, Devers, Adames, Ramos, Lee. Giants stack. And this is with Valdez. This is with a 6% on pitcher. But let's say you were to play Gilbert DeGrom, which I think is probably, I mean, based on our ownership, is the most popular combination. So what do these lineups look like? It may not look exactly like this, right? But I mean, even so, like Casey Schmidt, we have it like 1% owned as part of this giant stack. I mean, it's quite possible that you can play the 2 chalky pitchers and still not really get that far off the board. Okay, now we get a little bit. The number one lineup here is actually a Cubs lineup, right? This is getting different. right? Cubs, Braves, 5-3. DeGrom, Gilbert, Kelly, Turner, Swanson, PCA, Suzuki, and then an Albies, Riley, Harris lineup. Like this is, I mean, this to me, this is more of a large field lineup, but this would be a contrarian lineup in a small field contest, right? You are playing the two chalkiest pitchers, but I mean, batting wise, like most of these batters are single digit owned across the board: 4%, 3%, 4%, 9%, 10%, 12%. But here we go with the second lineup. Here is not that far away, and here we go. I mean, this is a giant stack with two Cardinals, Donovan and Walker, and Corey Seager is a one-off. I mean, how far off the board do you really have to get, right? I mean, take a look. I mean, and look at this lineup. This lineup has mostly single-digit owned players, also. Even in a giant stack. It's a 10-game slate. It's not like it's not nuts. I mean, Matt Chapman being 7% owned, 8% owned at 4K. Ramos being 9% owned at 4,100. I mean, this isn't like absurd ownership, and you're playing the two chalk pitchers. And I think if DeGrom's going to be the most owned pitcher, I think I'd rather just play Gilbert Yamamoto lineups. You get a little bit different, and you could be even more chalky at batter, at hitter positions. And now we start getting the Yankees here, right? Here's a Giants-Yankees lineup, a Cardinals lineup with some Twins. I mean, the Twins one-offs. I mean, no one's going to be playing the Twins. And more people are going to be playing Yamamoto than playing the Twins today. But let's say we wanted to play Gilbert Yamamoto and fade DeGrom. You could put Gilbert Yamamoto, or you could, like, if you want to play like Gilbert, but I could just exclude DeGrom from all lineups. You could do that type of stuff in SimLabs as well. So Gilbert Yamamoto. I could also exclude players. I could exclude stacks, right? You could do any of this. So you could just choose to see what lineups do you want to build. It will build you the lineups based on, the contest field size. And, I mean, obviously going to advance, you could change the weights of everything in here and show you the lineups that you want to see, right? So I want to see the Gilbert Yamamoto lineups. Okay, let's see what these lineups look like. It's much more likely the combination that I'm going to be playing tonight. If SimLabs continues to say that Jacob deGrom is over-owned. Right, like what's wrong with this? I mean, this Yamamoto, Gilbert, Giant stack, Diaz, McCormick, Contreras. I mean, some of these guys, right, it's great to be 18% owned, but like Casey Smith is 1% in this Giant stack. I mean, it's probably a little bit overpriced at 3,800, but he's on the road, 8th hitter on the road. I don't mind. I mean, it's not. Is he the highest upside player? No. But look, here's another lineup: Yamamoto, Gilbert, and then you play the Astros with Shea Whitcomb as at 2,600 in the middle of your Astro stack. And you still get 3 Cardinals. I mean, you're still playing five Astros, 3 Cardinals. Done. And you're still playing. I mean, it's not like Yamamoto is going to be low owned. I mean, we still have him at 21% owned. There's a giant stack with the Dodgers. I mean, the fact that you could play a giant stack and still have money to play Ohtani and Betts. Chas McCormick is a one-off at 2,300 is perfectly fine. And you get 2 good pitchers. Here's a Ranger stack. This would be a little bit off the board. Texas has a 4.52 implied team total. Not exactly. I mean, to me, this is really off the board. I mean, I don't how many people are playing the Rangers today? Heim, Tellez, Semien, Smith, Seager. I mean, you're playing a pretty good Rangers. We have more Giants. It seems like a lot of Giants today. A lot of Giants today. Looks like SimLabs. Not as many Cardinal stacks. A lot of Cardinals like one-offs and 3-mans and stuff like that. But SimLabs for today. I think from an overall perspective, as DeGrom is overowned, Valdez as underowned, Gilbert Yamamoto is probably the most appealing combo with pitcher, and then from a stack perspective, a lot of Giants, then Astros, Those would be the two that I would play. And then, I mean, obviously, the Cardinals are up there. You play the Cardinals, but maybe the Cardinals more as one-offs. Then, from a contrarian standpoint, it seems like contrarian, if you want to call it contrarian, the Cubs and the Rangers. The Cubs have a 5.57 implied team total. So I mean, the Cubs have the third highest implied team total on the slate, and they're going to be contrarian today. But that's kind of yeah. If I was playing like 5 lineups with 5 different stacks, I'd probably play Giants, Astros, Cardinals, Rangers, Cubs. You could fill in some Dodgers one-offs. You could fill in some Braves one-offs, Mets one-offs. I mean, the Mets may be. I mean, I don't see many Mets. I mean, we run SimLabs. I don't see many Mets here. Right, here's the Mets. Okay, well, here's a Mets stack. You get some. I mean, the Mets are okay, I guess. Will probably be even lower owned. Like the Mets, out of all the teams that have a 5+ implied team total, the Mets may be the lowest owned of the bunch against the Angels. So that's an option also, especially in large field contests. But definitely tune into Grinders Live and Crunch Time later today on the channel. Hit that notification bell, and you'll always know when we go live. And you can get SimLabs here as part of one of our packages here at RotoGrinders, the cheapest one, the Combo Light package. You get the full access to SimLabs for NFL, NBA, MLB, and PGA. And all of our stat pack databases like Plate IQ, Court IQ, Gridiron IQ, Weather Edge. And all of our premium written content like Cheese's Goods, $1 million musings. You get that also. So go sign up today. Click on the link in the description. But you know what's free? That thummy thumb button. So hit that thumbs up button on your way out the door, and I'll see you next time for another MLB SimLabs analysis here at RotoGrinders.com.